Hi there, this is exercise 60. We're going to look at the equation of a circle, and it's certainly something you saw at GCSE, but how much of it I suppose depends on which group you were in at GCSE. So we want to have a look to make sure that you're good at this. I'll just set my pen and then we'll get started. So exercise 60, circles. Look, first of all, starter, it says complete the square, which is me being kind, because it actually said in the question, express the following in the form x plus p all squared plus q. So if they ever say this, you think, that means complete the square. Can you complete the square? You should remember what to do. You should remember to half the number of x's you have. Obviously half of 8 is 4, so you then write x plus 4 all squared. Don't forget then to take away the square of whatever number you have here. Don't worry about this sign at this stage. It says 4, so I take away 16. And it also says minus 1 at the end, so I just write that. So my final answer on this one is x plus 4 all squared minus 17. There you go. Can you try to do this one and this one? This one's obviously the hardest because it's got an odd number here, so you should remember you write that as, well, half of 3 is not 1.5. Well, it is, but it's best to write it as 3 over 2. When you write 3 over 2, you can then square the top, square the bottom to get your number that you take away. So pause the video and see if you can do parts 2 and 3. Okay, the answers then were as follows. First one was good news, I got it right. And the second one, so, and the third one, definitely the hardest one. Hopefully got that right as well. So circles. The equation of a circle with centre at the origin. Notice that the centre is definitely at the origin, and the circle is just a collection of points around a point, the centre. And you can see they're all the same distance away. That's the definition of a circle, basically. The distance away is the same. So whichever point you pick on, and I've picked on this point here, you basically say to yourself, well, from there, I definitely know from this origin to my point, the radius is a set amount, and I'm going to call that r for obvious reasons. And from my point, you can basically go down and you go across, and you get this little right angle triangle. And so you can clearly see Pythagoras' theorem here. You've got x across, y up. It's starting out at 0, so I've basically said my point is x, y. So imagine that's 2, 5 or something. And once you've got that number that you've decided on for the x and y, you effectively have this triangle. And so Pythagoras' theorem says, well, x squared plus y squared is r squared. And that's actually it. That's the equation of a circle. This is the equation of a circle. Equation of a circle. Now, its centre has got to be the origin, so 0, 0, if you like, and its radius has got to be r. But other than those two things, you can see this is the formula. So for instance, if I told you, e.g., let's make one up, x squared plus y squared equals, I don't know, 81. As soon as I see that x squared plus y squared, I think, it's a circle. And the only last remaining thing is, let's draw a circle about the origin, because I know it's a circle of centre 0, 0. The only thing I need to know is how big the radius is, how far up and how far across does it go. And I look at that 81, I go, r squared is that 81, so therefore my r must be 9. So that's 9 across, 9 across, 9 up, sorry, minus 9 that way, minus 9 that way. That's it, done, sorted. So if you see x squared plus y squared as a number, you'd think to yourself, that's a circle. Not all circles, unfortunately, have the centre at the origin, so sometimes we get the centre at some other point. I've called it a, b. I've still done the same thing. I've got my point on the circumference of the circle, and it could be anywhere, literally. The same rules would apply, so it's probably easier to see up here. I'm going to do the same trick. I'm going to draw myself a little right angle triangle. I'm going to say to myself, how far across has it gone? Well, imagine that was 5, I'm going to pick a number, it's 5,7, and this is 2, 3. Notice what I would do to work out how far across it goes. I would say, well, it starts at 2, it goes to 5, it must be 3 across. Now, unfortunately, it's not 5 and it's not 2. It's x and a, but I do the same thing. I just subtract one away from the other. So I'm going to call this x minus a. How far up has it gone? Now, again, if it was 3 and 7, I'd say it goes 4 up. But it's not 3 and 7. It's y and b, so I just do y, take away b. And my formula basically looks very similar. It's I look at it and think it's Pythagoras again. You see my little right angle triangle. So this squared plus this squared must equal this squared. Or put a different way, x minus a all squared plus y minus b all squared equals r squared. Now notice again, you could quite easily then get given something. You could be told x minus, well, what did I have? I had 2, 3. X minus 2 all squared plus y minus 3 all squared. And I'm going to make up a number equals, it's not this one, equals, well, let's have 81 again. So what would that tell me? Well, this would tell me the centre of my circle is 2, 3. And it would tell me my radius, again, because it's 81, therefore my radius must be 9. That's all you need to know. So example 1, it says find the equation of a circle with centre this and radius that. Right, this is just a case of putting it into this formula. This is effectively like my a comma b. This is obviously my r is 5. So I'm going to write this out as x minus it says centre is 4. X minus 4 all squared, don't forget the squared, plus y minus, but it says y minus b, but my b is negative, so that becomes a plus. Y plus 3 all squared equals r squared, which is 25. That is actually the answer. If you drew this, what would it look like? It's got the centre at 4, 3. So 4 across, 3 down, there. And it's got a radius of 5. Now, I actually know that this is a rare case. This goes through the origin if you drew this accurately. And I know this because that's actually a Pythagorean triple. That would be 5. I'll let you have a think about why. But this is my circle, though. It's not my best circle I've ever drawn, but you get the idea. And its centre is at 4, minus 3, and its radius is 5. But notice the question, I wanted that. Didn't want me to draw it at all. I just showed you that because I was keen. Next question, what's it say? It says find the centre and radius of this circle. Now this is a backward one, isn't it? It's telling you the equation. It's saying what was the radius, what was the centre. And just, it says 5. So notice my centre, you just look at the numbers. It says 5, so I know its centre is minus 5, comma. It says minus 1, so I know it's plus 1. There you go. It's relatively easy, isn't it? And then the radius. What's the radius? Well, remember it's equal to r squared. This doesn't say equals. It has minus 4 on the side. Well, just move that over the other side, then you can see it would equal 4. So therefore, r squared is 4, or put a different way, radius is 2. Determine whether the point minus 7, 2 lies inside or outside or on the circle. Well, all I'm going to do, this becomes effectively my x and y in this equation. That is minus 7. This is going to be 2. I substitute these numbers in. If it equals 4, then it's on the circle. That's what I want it to be, on the circle. But it might be inside, in which case it's lower than 4. It might be further than the edge of the circle, in which case it would be more than 4. Now you won't find out until you write it down. So I'm going to write x is minus 7, y equals 2. They've told me that over here. So therefore I have got x plus 5 minus 7 plus 5 squared. Notice I've got x, so I put that x in, plus the y minus 1, so that's 2 minus 1 squared. And I'm just going to see what it equals. So minus 7 plus 5 is minus 2. And I've got to square it. 2 take away 1 is 1, and I've got to square it. Well, minus 2 squared is plus 4. 1 squared is 1. So this is 5. I did say if it was more than 4, which it is, it'd be outside the circle. If it was less than 4, 4 by the way, because it's up here. So that's what I reckon the answer is. Minus 5, 1, radius 2, yeah, I've got that. And 5 is therefore outside this circle. So I like that. Alright, this is when, this looks horrific, doesn't it? Let's just read it. It says, give the equation of the circle with centre this and radius that to give your answer in this form. Well, the easy bit is just to do what we've just done. And ignore this bit for the moment. So my formula said x minus a all squared plus y minus b all squared equals r squared. So let's see what I've got here. So it says minus 1, so therefore I'm going to write x plus 1, notice you always change it, squared, plus y minus, yeah, it is a minus, it says plus 2, sorry, I write a minus, squared, equals r squared. What was that? So 3 squared is 9. So that's it, that's done. Well, not quite, they want it in this form. And so there are two ways of writing it. There's one in this, what I would describe as the brackety form, and there's the other in the way without any brackets. Well, it's not hard to work out then that you've got to get rid of the brackets. So how do we get rid of the brackets? Well, we just do what it says. It says x plus 1 squared. Well, I'm going to need to get rid of that bracket. Y minus 1 squared, I need to get rid of that as well. So multiply that out. You should know that that really means x plus 1 times x plus 1. And then I'm going to have to do, was it, what were they both 1? No, that was a 2. I nearly made a bad mistake there. I was thinking to myself, that's a surprise, I've done the same number. It's y minus 2. There, I feel better now. Y minus 2 times y minus 2 equals 9. So what am I going to do with that? Well, I multiply it out. Use whatever method you use. It's relatively straightforward. You should get x squared plus 2x plus 1 plus y squared minus 4y plus 4 equals 9. So you multiply it out. Simple, simple. Notice then they want the x and the y squared together. So I'm going to write those x squared plus y squared. Effectively, that's those two done. Then I want the 2x and the 4y plus 2x minus 4y. Oh, right. Then they want the plus r on its own on this side. So I think I've got to move that 9 over there. It says 1 plus 4, that's 5, minus that 9 when it moves across. I reckon minus 4. Nearly wrote 5 now, doing dodgy maths. 1 plus 4 minus 9. Yes, I think that's right. So let's see what my answer is. X squared plus y squared. Well, it didn't. Is that all it wanted? Yes, it is, isn't it? 2x minus 4y. Yes, that's right. And then lastly, we've got this other thing where sometimes you get the other way round. Sometimes they'll say what it is in like an x squared plus y squared, plus 3x minus 2y plus 8 equals 0 kind of way. So if they said that, notice there's no brackets. So sometimes we want it in the bracketed form. This is the way we do it. Notice you basically complete the square twice, once for x, once for y. Probably best if I just show you an example. So here's my example. First job, notice the x's and y's are split. So I'm going to put them together. X squared minus 6x plus y squared minus 4y. I'm probably going to move that 12 on the other side as well, just to get rid of it. Equals 12. Now complete the square for the x's. Well, it's easy enough. You half the 6. X minus 3. All squared. Oh, don't forget to take away the square of the 3, which is 9. Plus, well, half the 4. It's all minus. I'm going to write y minus 2 all squared. Don't forget to take away the square of the 2, which is 4. Equals 12 again. And the last step really is just to move the 9 and the 4 onto the other side. So I'll get x minus 3 all squared plus y minus 2 all squared. 9 and 4 make 13. So when I move it over, it becomes a plus 13, which I think gives me 25. Alright, so what's it want? It wants the centre and the radius. So I think the centre is 3, 2. Notice I changed the signs. The radius, well, r squared is 25, so the radius is 5. So those two things I think you're after, the equation, and that's like a method mark for these last two bits. And the equation is right. Oh, that was it. I just forgot to write that down. Anyway, so we're doing exercise 6E. 6E, I think that's 6D. It's a circle, so exercise 6D. We're doing exercise 6D, and hopefully then that makes enough sense to be able to do the questions. Best of luck.